Handicapper Steve here, handicapping closing day of the Belmont Aqueduct meeting. It is Sunday, the 7th of July, 2024. Gonna look at the stakes races on the closing day program from Aqueduct, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and also join me next Thursday for my opening day Saratoga preview. Past performances are printed. I went through it a little bit, but I'm going to start working on it right after this, after I do my Parisian Pratt preview, which will be up on YouTube very soon from Deauville. But can't wait for opening day from Saratoga and Colonial this week, so just in general join me for those previews. And also tomorrow, the video is up already. It was supposed to run yesterday at Delaware, but they canceled. Saturday's card moves it to Monday with the Delaware Oaks and Kent Stakes card. So just go look at that preview. Some good racing there at Delaware tomorrow. Hopefully everything goes through with the heat. But closing day card from Belmont at the Big A. It's not a bad card. You can make some money in some of the races, and then you can have some chalky races. Just in general, I printed out all the races, and all the PPs for the card. This was 21 pages. That was about 40 pages for Saratoga on Thursday. So that's the difference in field sizes and stuff. But we'll look at the stakes races here on closing day, races 2 and 5. The second race from Aqueduct, it is the Hudson Valley Stakes, going for $125,000 purse. Race 4-year-olds and upward, state breds here. Field of 6 horses entered. 6 is an MTO. 5 will head to the inner turf course, 1,600 meters or a mile on the inner turf course. Probably one of my favorite divisions of in racing, the New York Breds turf stakes horses. You always have a good rivalry between City Man, Spirit of St. Louis, Jerry the Nipper, Dakota Gold, and they're all back in this one. Small group of horses, but it's a good rivalry. Can't speak now, but I'm going to take the 5-horse City Man off the bench. 5-1-4-2 in the superfecta. 5-1-4-2 super. Top selection of 5-horse City Man. The 7-year-old horse by Mucho Macho Man. Christophe Clement trains. Joel Rosario gets him out. Was originally entered to run in the Kingston at Saratoga earlier last month, but it was scratched because of the off-the-turf race. So he's making a seasonal reappearance here, most recently in the fall in the Mohawk here at Aqueduct, Mile 16th and 29th of October. He finished second by a half a length that day. Spirit of St. Louis, who's running back in this one, who was a next start winner in the Dangerous Hour against Open Company, really ran a terrific race from a tracking trip to get the job done. This horse, he saddled just behind him that day. He just couldn't get the good turn of foot late. He just, maybe a little bit flat. The old man was, just got beat by a little bit of a fresher horse that day. It was a quick turnaround from the Ashley Too Cold, which was returned 3 times after getting canceled in mid-September. They finally ran it 3 weeks later, but, he just, I thought you saw a tired horse that day. I didn't think he ran half bad in the Ashley T. Called at Aqueduct over the mile 8th on the 6th of October, finishing third by 1.5 lengths. He gained a little bit ground, but Spirit of St. Louis really had a good race on the front end, and Joey the Nipper really ran a terrific race, closing it from nowhere to get the place that day. But he ran his heart out that day, and then at Saratoga, mile 16th in the West Point, winning by 1.25 lengths that day. He was a little bit wide, but from a tracking trip with the 98 buyer, he ran his heart out that day. And then in the Kingston last year at Belmont over the mile 16th, winning by a nose, he had to grind it out to the wire, and Joel timed the race perfectly. That was a very good run. His best season was probably 2022, where he won the Forbidden Apple against Open Company at Saratoga opening day, came back to run a massive place behind Emirati in the Bernard Baruch handicap, won the Ashley Too Cole, won the Mohawk, and then on New Year's Eve 2022, won against Open Company in South Florida at Gulfstream in the Fort Lauderdale, the prep race for the Pegasus, won by 1.5 lengths from the rail. He really ran a terrific race with that 96 buyer. Coming here today, he can run off the bench. He's training well. I'm going to use him on the ticket. I think the 1-horse Spirit of St. Louis is on the up and up. He's a cool horse. Finally back to dirt last time out over the Wilson Mile in the Kingston at Saratoga off the turf there. He won by 5.25 lengths from a tracking trip. He won for fun. That was a very good run. Prior to the Danger Hour against Open Company, first time against Open Company, wasn't the toughest quality group of horses, but he really closed up well from the back of the pack to get the job done, switching up the tactics that day. And then Mohawk last fall, winning by a half a length from a tracking trip. Or from the front end trip, he really took off clear. Since coming to the turf last June, he's really become a great horse. He's a versatile type. He can set the pace to come from behind. I like him a lot in this spot. Let's use him here in the pick 4. But to recap my selection for the second from Aqueduct, it is the Hudson Valley. Going to take the 5-horse City Man. Give kudos to the 1-horse Spirit of St. Louis. 5-1-4-2 super. 5-1 in the multi-race. The 5th race now from Aqueduct. It is the Port Washington Stakes. It's going for $125,000 purse. Race for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward state breds. We have a field here of 7 horses entered. 6 and 7 are both MTOs. 5 will head to the inner turf course 1700 meter journey, or mile 16th on the inner turf course. Gonna take the 1-horse Marvelous Maud as a top selection. 1425 for me in the superfecta. 1425 super. Top selection 1-horse Marvelous Maud. This 6-year-old mare by Slumber. Chad Brown trains. Ira Teese Jr. gets to mount. The horse's most recent outing came the Plenty of Grace Stakes here at Aqueduct over the mile. 21st of April. He finished third by 10 lengths that day and just was wide. And off the nearly 11-month bench, he needed the race that day. He, just couldn't keep up. Back to this turf course, second off the bench, would be a lot fresher. I think this horse is going to be sitting on a good race here today. Also against state breds, who should really do better with. Two back in the Mount Vernon last year at Belmont over the mile on the Widener turf course. Winning by a nose that day from a tracking trip, was a little bit wide, but really slingshot it to the front end. 90 Buyer, best for life. That was a very good run in her only start of 2023. And then in the end of 22 here at Aqueduct, mile 16th at Ticonderoga, she finished fourth by 1/4 lengths that day. She had a bit of a wide trip that day, but she was really closing up well late. She showed potential there, and then heading her here at Aqueduct over the mile furlong in September 22. She finished second by a half a length that day, and again she was a little bit wide, but she really closed up well. She actually ran against Warlike Goddess and Virginia Joy in the 22 Flower Bowl at Saratoga, where she finished 6 by 6 1/4 lengths. She had a wide trip and just wasn't getting into it. She does her better running style against State Bred. She's back with them again. I think she could get the job done. I think the 4-horse What Love Looks Like for Tom Pletcher and Johnny V could also get a trip to win. Again, they tried the longer trip in the mile 3/8 Long Island handicap at Aqueduct here in the fall, where she finished fourth by 3 3/4 lengths. R. Kelly Kim caught this horse late. Rumbeek was actually running, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if I saw him correctly. She's running on Thursday at Saratoga in the second race. We're in a terrific place that day. This horse just was not getting into it there. Prior to that, in the and then heading her here in the fall at Aqueduct over the mile furlong, she finished third by length, and again she just kind of hit the wall late. And then the auto handicap, she kind of just was yielding that day. She does her better style when she gets her own way in the front end or gets a little bit closer to the front end. She won this inaugural running last year on July 4th on a yielding turf course. Came back to win over the mile 3 at Saratoga quite nicely last summer. She's trading well at the Spa. I'm going to give her a shot on the ticket, and I think the 2-horse Snowy Evening, it's not going to be Snowy Evening in early July, I can tell you that. But she ran a decent place here at Aqueduct a few weeks ago. It's on the quick turnaround here today. She has decent races last year that could definitely win against these horses. I'll give her a shot here on the ticket at 6-1 to possibly upset, but it's a very good heading or good, very good Port Washington here. But to recap my selection up for the 5th from Aqueduct, it is the Port Washington. Going to take the 1-horse Marvelous Maud. Give kudos to the 4-horse What Love Looks Like, and the 2-horse Snowy Evening. 1425 Super, 142 in the multi race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck everyone.